Okay, this is the bus redo video. Take one. As you can see, we've already made some progress. When we got the bus, it was full of seats. So the first thing we had to do was remove the seats. Nobody on their bus videos explained how much fun that was going to be. So I'll lay that down for you. The bolts that hold them down to the floor, like you see here on this front bulkhead, all they do is sit and spin if you're on top. So you actually have to have someone underneath to hold the nut, and then you got to be on top to back out the bolt. Doing it by yourself is absolutely ridiculous. So we finally got all those out, and that was about 8 times longer than I expected. So the next part was layout and design, and we've kind of, you can see we've got tape on the floor just to get a feel for everything and kind of see it in reality in 3 dimensions and be able to look up and go, okay, well that runs into that, we can't do that. And it's a lot easier to reconfigure things with tape than it is to tear something down and rebuild it. So we've actually started the woodworking, but before we did that, I wanted to get into panel removal, because although this original material was pretty cool and could be cleaned up, I wanted to know that my walls were really well insulated. So everything on this is an adventure. This first panel came out just fine, because you can see it's not under a window. The second one, I went to pull it out and discovered that it wraps around underneath the window. So I ended up taking a grinder and cutting it off flush, and our hypothesis was accurate in the way that this insulation is pretty chintzy and doesn't cover all the gaps. So I've taken the paneling off up to the point where we can start doing the bedroom build out in the closets. So we started the woodworking yesterday, and as you can see here, what this is the face frame of the bed, and it's a piece of Spanish cedar. You can kind of catch a glimpse of how absolutely gorgeous that is. And this rectangle you see is where the drawer will sit and slide underneath the bed. The dresser will be sitting here, but we'll get to all that as we install it. And the closets will actually be sitting right here. So what we're working on today is this Siberian mindfuck. And what I'm doing is striking the radius. And we're getting closer. I'm trying to dial that in so I have a template for all of my pieces, and I can simply use a flush trim bit. I can trace it out and then use a flush trim bit to replicate it as many times as I want. So getting that to dial in is fun, because on a radius, when you move over to the left, you also move down. So it's a lot of back and forth and a lot of patience. So to tell you a little bit more about the bus itself, it is a 2000 International with a diesel and the Allison transmission. I love the idea of diesel because it's going to allow me to run biodiesel. Make your own fuel, it's a lot cheaper. And I've got everything stocked up and ready to go. Lunches, wood, parts, pieces, nuts and bolts, everything I've collected. So until next time, kids, we'll see you.